You ever wonder why success seems so elusive? It's not because you don't have what it takes. It's because typically that there are 2 or 3 things that you're just not doing. Well, in this video here, I'm going to share with you 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, 3 game-changing success secrets that nobody talks about. Now, if you're tired of spinning your wheels and feeling like success is just out of reach, right? That is something long, far out, distant horizon. Well, this training video is for you. I work with countless entrepreneurs, coaches, and experts since I've been full-time online since 2016. I've invested in high-level mentorship and mastermind programs, and I've learned that the true secrets to success is not the stuff that you hear in a lot of motivational rah-rah speeches. It's not in that at all. These 3 secrets that I'm going to share with you will shift how you act, think, and approach your goals. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's been holding you back and how to overcome it. So let's dive right into this. Success secret number 1 that nobody talks about is success requires sacrifice. When I think of sacrifice, I'm reminded of Luke 9:23. Let me read that for you. It says that whoever wants to be my disciple, and this is Jesus speaking himself, he said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. And this verse reminds us that sacrifice is a part of growth. It's letting go of comfort for a greater purpose. In fact, the very definition of sacrifice, it means that to give up something good for something greater, or give up the short term for the long term. Now, sacrifice is challenging for a lot of people. Now, you probably like me, probably was told that if you want to succeed in business, that you need to work hard, right? You need to work hard, hustle, grind, all that good stuff, right? All that stuff. I wouldn't say necessarily good, but all that stuff, right? And that's not necessarily wrong. However, it's a lot more to that, because hard work does not necessarily equate success. I know a lot of folks who work hard working in warehouses. I know a lot of folks who work hard, picking up trash. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's success. So working hard does not equate to success. But what you have to do is give up something that you're comfortable with in order to achieve something higher, right? I'm reminded of the children of Israel, and God's biggest dilemma with them was that the way they was thinking, right? And they were comfortable being in Egypt. Check this out. They were comfortable being in slavery, comfortable being in bondage. When God was trying to take them to the promised land, take them to something greater, they were not willing to sacrifice that comfort in order to get something greater. They had chose, they even told Moses, hey, why'd you bring us out to this wilderness for us to die? Take us back to Egypt. Take us back to busting bricks. Take us back to eating 3 square meals of peanut butter jelly sandwiches a day, but at least we was eating 3 times a day, and they were comfortable there. A lot of folks are stuck in comfort land, which I call broke land, which I call Egypt, and that is hurting you. If you want to achieve something great, you got to be willing to make the sacrifice. You got to be willing to die for the short term to achieve the long term, to give up something in the short term to achieve something greater in the long term. Now, to create massive success is not easy. However, the payoff is worth it. In fact, check out this statistic here. I want to read this statistic verbatim. It says that a study was found that self-made millionaires spend an average of 60 hours a week working on their goals in the early stages of their career. 60 hours. See, you can't approach your business with a part-time mindset. You got to prioritize your time. Maybe you got to cut out a lot of television. Not maybe, cut out a lot of television. Because when you're making these sacrifices, you're not doing it for nothing, right? You're doing it for something greater. You open up room for more opportunity. You open up room for something better to come into your life. You open up room for things that truly matter, things that matter most. So you have to be willing to sacrifice first and foremost. Number 2 success secret, relationships are the key to success. We read Proverbs 27:17. It says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. What this kind of teaches us here, that your relationships are your greatest asset. And one thing I've discovered, and which makes perfect sense, is that success is not found in isolation. The prison system is designed for a reason. And for most part, it doesn't rehab people. Actually, a lot of times it makes people worse. And one of the things they do to punish you, because they understand this secret here, that people need to be around other people, right? Relationships are key, is that, if you act out, they will put you in solitary confinement. Why? Because in isolation, you will go nuts. Isolation, you will go crazy. Not being around other people, not being able to conversate with other people is detrimental to your human development. So it's imperative you in business that you surround yourself with like-minded people. And if you like me and like most entrepreneurs, your family and friends don't have the same desires and goals as you. So it's imperative that you invest in programs, in coaching, and mentorship, and masterminds, and groups to get around like-minded people, because those relationships are key to your success. In fact, 80% of all successful entrepreneurs, they give credit to networking and relationships for that reason for success. Now, recently, I just invested $55,000 to be a part of a high-level mastermind. And the relationships I've been able to build with those other individuals in that mastermind have been priceless, have been amazing, have been inspiring. So it's important that you create the right relationships, because it's going to nurture you. It's going to help develop you. It's going to help push you. It's going to help allow you to achieve those goals and desires, because when you're by yourself, it's too easy to give up. Because it will be challenging. It will be hard. That's part of the process. But if you're in the right environment, you can succeed. This makes me think of picture a watermelon seed, right? Think of a watermelon seed. Now, a watermelon seed already has the potential in it to do what? Produce watermelons, right? It's already in it right now, right? It was created that way by God himself. Now, however, take that same watermelon seed. Now, if I take that same watermelon seed and I put it here in my office here. Now, my office here has a tile wood floor, right? So if I were to put that same watermelon seed that has more watermelons inside of it, but I put it on my floor in my office, and guess what? I water that seed every day. I put sunlight on that seed every day. I do everything I can for that seed to grow. Pray over it, speak in tongues, all that stuff, right? Yet, guess what's going to happen? That seed is not going to produce. It's not going to create the watermelon. It's not going to do the very thing it was intended to do. Why? No matter it having water, no matter it having sunlight, no matter it getting prayer, it's not going to produce and do the very thing it was created to do. Why? Because it was not placed in the right environment. That soil needs to be put in, that seed needs to be put in the right soil, and then the sunlight, then the water, then the nutrients from the soil will allow it to do the very thing it was designed and created to do. The same holds true for you, my friend. God said it's not good for man to be alone. You were not created to be alone. So it's imperative that you invest the time, and more importantly, the money, to get the right mentorship, to get the right coaching, to get the right masterminds, to get in the right community, so you can become the very thing that you were created to do, just like the watermelon seed. Hopefully that makes sense. And secret number 3, consistency beats motivation all day long. Let's look up Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Now, this is a very powerful passage, because it shows us that if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up by God's laws, you're going to reap a harvest. In fact, the very next verse in that same chapter says, for God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, he shall reap. See, there are laws in place that work no matter what. And one law is seed time and harvest. Right? Seed time and harvest. Now, here's the deal about seed time and harvest. We only have control over one of these phases of this law working. The only phase you have control over is the seeds that you plant. Okay? So you have no control over time, and you have no control when the harvest is going to come. But God has promised us that if we stay true, if we don't give up, if we keep pushing, if we stay persistent, if we stay consistent, you will reap a harvest at the proper time. Now, the word proper time in the Greek there in that verse actually means kairos, and it means a time predetermined by God. Now, see, you and I don't have control of when that harvest is going to come. But what we do have is we can trust in the character of God, who is not a man that he shall lie, who has a track record of always coming through, that if we stay consistent, if we stay reliable, if we keep showing up, you will produce a harvest. Because here's the deal. I remember around 2011, I was part of an online network marketing company called Empower Network. And it was a very good company because I learned a lot of knowledge in digital marketing. I mean, in fact, I learned about 70% of the stuff I initially learned about digital marketing, I learned in that particular company there because the training was phenomenal. But I remember all the folks around 2011, 2012 who was making hand over fist money, literally hand over fist money. I cannot find hardly any of those folks today. Even the owners of that company are like nowhere to be found today online. All the ones who was killing it and making all the money are nowhere to be found online. Here we are 10 plus years later, and they're nowhere to be found, right? So consistency, showing up is important, especially in the eyes of your audience. If your audience still sees you showing up, same similar messaging, right? Impactful, and that builds trust. Because they know most folks jump from thing to thing to thing to thing, and so they can't trust someone like that. And consistency beats motivation, because here's the deal. You can go to all the Tony Robbins, all the rah-rah conventions you want, and you can feel like you can walk on all the hot coals, all the broken glass, do all the backflips and cartwheels all you want, and be screaming to the top of your lungs and feel like you're King Kong. Give it 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later, when you get back home after that 3 or 4 day rah-rah event, all that motivation, all that emotion is gone. It fades. It fades away. And those guys know it. They sell motivation, but they don't sell transformation, and they don't sell results because motivation is just a fad. Motivation is temporary, but consistency is actually part of a success habit and actually begin to manifest the results. Because why? The laws say it. That's how it should work. Is this making sense? If this is valuable, I hope you're catching this. Hope you're receiving this. If so, type in the comments if you are, because the more consistent you are, statistics say that you have a 60% more likelihood of succeeding than those who are not. 60%. And here's the deal. Success isn't about taking big, giant leaps, going from $0 to $100,000 tomorrow. No, it's small steps, right? Because those small steps, when you look back 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, 180 days from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, look like mammoth steps, okay? And so you want to be that person who's consistent, who's reliable, doing something every single day to get closer to your goals. Because what you do tomorrow is not going to, what you do today is not going to show up tomorrow. What you do today is not going to show up a month from now. But what you do today can show up 90 days from now. What you do today will show up 6 months from now, right? It's the compounding effect. I was doing a coaching session with my clients recently, and I was teaching them, they're doing a 30 for 30 challenge, right? And they're doing a certain activity every day. And my clients told me, Chris, I'm getting so much more growth. I'm getting so many more followers. I'm getting so many more leads, right? And their minds is blown because they're seeing each and every day of doing this consistent activity and the results that are coming from it. So if you stay consistent, you will bear fruit. You will produce the fruit. That's part of it. And realize that every tree will produce in its season. If you stay reliable, if you stay consistent, if you don't give up. So I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you get that, my friend. Those are 3 powerful success secrets that hardly anybody shares with you. I want to know right now, what did you find most valuable from this video? Type that answer right now in the comments. I will reply back to you. I will respond back to you. Type that answer right now in the comments. And if you've been enjoying this and getting great value from this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, follow me, all that good stuff right now as well, my friend. And you want to check out other resources I have available for you, check out the links in the description as well, my friend. I think you're going to find those very valuable as well. And if you practice these 3 success secrets, the recap, number 1, success requires sacrifice. Okay, you got to be willing to sacrifice. Number 2, relationships are key. All right, and number 3, consistency beats motivation. If you begin to practice these, my friend, it's not something that's all flashy. It's not something that's all hypey. You're gonna hear from all the gurus, but this is what produces real results. This is what produces the real results, my friend. And if you apply them, you will see just how far these will actually take you. So hopefully you enjoyed this, my friend. I can't wait to see you on the next video, my friend. Remember this, put God first in all that you do, and you too shall succeed. Peace and God bless.
In the last month, man, I've had over $20,000 in revenue So man, I'm at a 9-10 return, man, in the last 29 days. So I'm super excited about that.
What was your exact sales revenue number?
20,165.
Wow, in 29 days.
In 29 days.
The first time I used Chris's overall technique, I attracted 2 new coaching clients, which equaled to over $10,000. I highly recommend working with Chris's system if you want to grow your coaching, consulting, or expert business rapidly fast.
Ron is crushing it, guys. She's doing a phenomenal job, guys. And like I said, and you're one of the people who did 6 figures with this.
Yes, yes.
So, gosh,
Just consistent. I did the work and I stayed consistent. I didn't give up. There were plenty of days I wanted to give up, but I did not give up. I stayed the course, and you have to stay the course in order to get the success that you want.
Say that again,
Yeah,
Mike. Look in the camera this time, Mike, and say it again. How many have you closed so far?
so far I've closed 7.
7. Wow.
Got over 5,000 commission for those. So it's paid for you. And
Right. Yeah. Got your ROI, nice ROI there.
that's right. I've got 2 more definite.
You know, just with the nuggets he shared, I have gained 4 new students, and I have potential students. Chris opened our mind to dreaming bigger and finding ways to make extra income. He added bonus videos. It was just a total great experience.